What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream and a special guest in the building. He's been away for a little while, but he's back. Fran in the building, aka FFTV. How are you, bruv?
I'm all good. Thanks for having me on, bro. Appreciate that.
Pleasure as always. Now they're saying who was late, me or you?
Listen,
Come
if you
on,
watch
silly
both
question.
channels, they know who's late and who's on time.
I have to push the lateness is greatness thing. That's all I've
It
got.
don't
Really,
work. You're the host. You're the host. You're not turning up to the party, bro.
I know. You know, back in the day, if the party was finishing at 4, you got there about 2, didn't you? You made that late entrance. So everyone knew you'd
100%.
arrived. But yeah,
new garms, fresh trim. Everyone needs to see it.
Yeah,
but the host can't get there late, bro. You're the host.
I know. I've definitely got to change. Let me slow it down, actually. Let me go into Granite Xhaka mode and slow it down. And make sure everyone goes and follows Fran's channel. His title is in the description of this video. Everyone asking, he is coming on the Talk is Cheap show. He's coming on in 2 weeks, so make sure you look out for that. And yeah, lots of content over the summer. The football challenge video will be hopefully next month as well. That's why, look, we're both drinking water. Man's trying to...
I think Curtis is putting it off. Hey, listen, I think Curtis is I asked him the other day, he went, no, wait till the weather's a little bit better. He's training. He's training.
Laid down the law, said late entrance with the Averex jacket. Yo, the Averex back in the day, bro. It was all mad. Man, it's crazy, man. But yeah, listen, big up everyone for tuning in, and big up to Sean, who's just become a member of the channel. I appreciate that. We'll still be doing member streams probably every couple of weeks during the transfer window. So Fran, today we're going to talk about Arsenal season. We're going to look over the Premier League season in general, and I'm going to have to talk to you about what happened yesterday because you know what, I was tempted to get up this morning and do a 5k run because I thought surely I can get back in the conference if Eddie and Nketiah is on 100 grand a week.
I'm going to send a football challenge. I'm sending it Arteta, bro. I'm telling you, mate. You'll have a look at that. I think I might have to snap these two up, mate. I'm telling you. Nah.
Fran, 5 goals, 100 grand.
Mate, I can't get... Listen, we'll talk about it later on, but honestly...
Talk about it.
Imagine if we were playing now. It seems easy to get these P's. Easy.
It's a different world, isn't it? And you know what? World, I want to know who his agent is because...
Oh, Pepe needs to get him. Pepe needs Eddie's agent to get him a move, mate.
Yeah, it's true. It's unbelievable. Go on, we'll start off with Arsenal. Not Eddie, we'll leave that to the end. I more want to focus on the whole season and things like that. Obviously, we finished 5th, which 8th to 5th, yeah, progress, but 4th, 6 points clear, games in hand, 3 games to go, 4 points clear. We end up 2 points behind Tottenham. Don't know if you saw yesterday, Tottenham owners have pumped 150 million in for the summer. Chelsea's new owner said Tuchel's got 200 million to spend this summer. Liverpool City are gone anyway. United are going to spend a fortune. Was 5th, in your opinion, success for Arsenal? Was it progress or was it failure? How do you more view it?
For the club, and like you said, we spoke about this away from YouTube. For the club, it's success because it wasn't their original plan. So they're just going to say as, oh, well, we didn't expect to get in any type of European competition. We're ahead of the curve. Financially, all the books are perfect. You know what? Excellent. That's why he got his new deal, because he was ahead of expectations. Some fans, a section of some fans, I'm one of them and you're one of them. And I think it all depends on what generation you are as a fan. We'll see that as a failure when you are 3 games in hand and you're 4th. Yep. So it's not black and white. I don't think it's just a straight down. I think different people will have different perceptions of how they will look at it. From Arsenal, they're delighted. As a certain fan, it's failure, loser mentality. As a maybe a newer generation fan or a different mindset, it's, well, we didn't expect to be there, so that's progression. Do you know what I mean? I think there's an argument for 3 or 4 cases there.
Yeah. And the thing is, like you said, the club will view it as success. Clearly, they just wanted to get back in Europe. That's why Edu probably didn't want to commit to any target in that interview and apply more pressure. But for me, I just can't get out of the mindset that you've got 4th in your hands. And The difference with Arsenal and say a Man United or Chelsea, if Chelsea fail, they'll spend more money.
Yeah.
Or if Man United fail, they will spend even more money to try and fix it. Arsenal don't have that. They're not going to go and spend 200 million this summer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So when you have an opportunity presented to you like that, I think you have to take it. And that can speed the process up probably 2 or 3 years. So I just think Europa League, okay, it's a step forward, but is that going to make a major difference in terms of recruitment, where I think Champions League could have really pushed the club to that next level?
I always think if you're already in that position where you've got an opportunity, wherever it may be, whether it's in a race, whether it's in a job, whether it's in a business, whether it's in a relationship, if you're ahead and it's going better than you expected, surely then it's time to really double down.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where you could have gone. If we would have done something in January and doubled down, we may have caught Chelsea, as crazy as that sounds. If we'd have got someone in January, it would have gone right and doubled down. You think how many points we lost and how many points Chelsea dropped? We could have potentially have caught Chelsea. People won't see it like that. People will say as well, we're just happy to be where we are. And I think that's down to that. I always say, I think the club shows a lack of ambition to compete with the best. And I think they've kind of just said to themselves, in a way, they're not going to admit that we can't compete with the big boys financially. So how else can we do this? Are we going to compete with them, or are we just going to be happy to get fourth? Do you know what I mean? I get that vibe, but we don't know because we're not in, we're not in the boardroom or whatever it may be. But people say lack of ambition where we are. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and we can't compete with those top three, especially now Chelsea are going to sort their problems out. Because there's another point. You're not going to probably get a better opportunity to try and track Chelsea down as well, because they was in a bit of a turmoil the last 4 or 5 months. Yeah. So then all of a sudden they're going to sort their business out. They're going to reshape. They're going to start investing. So again, you're fighting the rest of the best. You're fighting a Spurs if Conte stays, another 150, 200 million. You're fighting maybe a West Ham. You're fighting a Leicester who might sort themselves out. You're fighting a Newcastle. So all of a sudden, it ain't going to be nowhere near as easy. So I've said that this year's success might be Arteta's failure, because we're going to expect a lot more next year, and I don't think they can produce that.
I mean, the funny thing is, even when you look back to the old days, and I'll bang on about the history, but, we were never spending what Man United spent. United were buying Rooney for 30 million, Ferdinand for 30 million. We got Henry for 12 million. Vieira was 2 million. So it's more about how you spend that money, in it, rather than Arsenal are not going to spend more than a lot of these teams. But I just don't understand how we were kind of always looking towards the top, and now fifth is deemed as some sort of... When Arteta came to the club, we were in Europa League. So if you spent 250 million to get us back to the Europa League, I can't get my head around how that's deemed as some sort of success. That's just my view on it.
When you look at results and what's in front of you in black and white, then you think, well, how can it be? Because football is very different from anything else. And it is what it is. It's there in black and white. You're either a success or you're not, depending on your points count, whether you're in Europe or whether you're not. And you make a good point that he's not progressed in himself, because we was in Europa and was at that level when he took the job. So 3 years later, we're kind of happy. Well, some people are happy that they're at the stage where they was already at. So yes, sometimes you have to take, 2 steps back and whatever it may be to go forward. But I just think for me, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. And I think it's probably because I've been in the game for so long and I know how all this nonsense works, that I'm not sure that people understand truly what is happening at the football club. I think it's all, in my opinion, all this stuff that's going on. We're going to build a new culture. We want a new set of fans, and we'll get rid of the old dogs, or we want to do this, and we want to bring this most stylish club, and we want to bring this philosophy, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, none of that matters if you're going to keep finishing outside the top 4. It's a load of nonsense. It just blinds people to say, oh, well, my club's doing this, my club's doing that to get somewhere. It's like going through the motions in a football match. You're trying to protect. You look like you're going to put your foot in, and then you're thinking about, don't really want to cut my face because I've got a decent Saturday night out after. It's one of those, you've been there. You've been there,
bro.
You don't want to get injured on a big night out, mate.
Nah, not when the hotel's booked. You ain't trying to get a black eye. You know what I mean? Andrew with the super chat said, "What success? The transfer fee for Ben White, Lokonga, and Nuno could have been used elsewhere. Arteta's transfer policy is crap compared to Klopp." I mean, somebody sent me a message there, Fran, that Luis Diaz is on 70 grand a week. You're talking about one of the signings of the season, one of the most exciting wingers. We've just dropped 100k on a striker who's come through our youth system. Usually you come through the youth system, it takes you a long time to get a big contract. So they've got to manage the money better, surely.
Well, it's desperation. I think they only get deals done because they throw everything at the cart. Even a Partey, let's be honest. We probably paid him way too much more money than what anyone else was going to pay for him. So we end up with him. And I know sometimes you've got to say, right, there's the bag. That's the player. But yeah, for top players, I get that. For top players, I get that. But you want players who want to come to your football club because they want to be at Arsenal Football Club. Eddie Nketiah is going to sign for Arsenal Football Club because you've gave him more money than he would ever have dreamed of, which is not worth it. Diaz goes to Liverpool because he wants to play for Liverpool. So he'll take 70k,
Of course.
And this is a mindset thing. This is why I was talking about the Mbappe thing the other day. Sometimes you got to question people's mentality. They're already caked. They can already drive what they want, live where they want, do what they want. So surely you want to be at a place where you want to be at that club away from the money. Now, money is going to make a massive difference. I get that. But Eddie Nketiah is clearly staying, if he signs his contract, because of money.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Not because he loves Arsenal. Nothing else. But people will think, oh, he's come from... He don't care where he's come from. The police academy. Never mind ALN academy. It doesn't matter to him. He's just thinking of the peas. And the disappointing thing is, when people say, let's throw the money at players, sometimes you're not getting the right players. And we've seen that time and time again. So you have to be very, very smart with your money. Some of these players are on a lot, some of them are more than Man City players.
Yeah.
And you think, wait a minute, how's that? You know what I mean?
I mean, if I try and add balance to it, which is very difficult, because I completely disagree with that deal. Eddie, for me, couldn't have got 100k anywhere else. So I don't see why we gave it him. And I don't think he would have got first team football in terms of being a starter at any club really in the Prem, unless you're talking about newly promoted or relegation battling clubs. Do you think that KSE have maybe gone to Mikel Arteta and said, listen, this is how much money you've got to spend? And as he looked at it and thought, I can't afford maybe to go and buy 2 new strikers, plus a defender, plus a midfielder. I'm just trying to add balance to the argument. Do you think that's maybe why he's done it? Is it cheaper for him to give him a deal than to go and spend money on a replacement?
Well, it isn't. If you think what, 5 million a year, 5-year deal, and probably about 5 million in bonuses if he does what he's supposed to do. So you're looking 30 mil.
30 mil.
You got to go and get another striker for 30 mil, and you're not getting much for 30 mil these days. You'll get a couple, but then that 30 mil, you've then got to give the player 80, 90 grand. So all of a sudden, your 30 mil is 60 mil. Now, that has to come out of somewhere. That has to come out of a budget. He has to then go to Edu and say, well, we can either keep Eddie, no nonsense, 30 mil, or we can go out and try and find someone. It might not click, da-da-da. So Eddie's played a blinder. When I talk about being in the right place at the right time, this is one of the best stories I've ever seen, because him and his agent have played an absolute blinder. For him to get 100 grand a week, there'll be other Premier League footballers thinking, how on earth has he got 100 grand a week? Because there's some Premier League players on 35 grand a week, 40 grand a week. And they're thinking, how? How is this possible? Just played a blinder, great timing. And I think the club, he's used the club and the club have used him. It works out for both parties. Works out for both parties, except for the fans.
The thing what worries me, Fran, is, and like you said, because we've seen how it works from the inside of clubs sometimes, everything that Arsenal are doing at the moment looks so predictable to me. It's like season finished. They got Arteta's deal done before the season in case there was a failure. It would have been harder to justify it. They gave him the contract while we were fourth. So they said, well, you can't complain. We're fourth. There's his new deal. So people like me who don't agree with Arteta, I had to just fall back and say, what can I really say? Then the season finishes. The new kit drops. Here is a new kit to cheer you up. Then they come out yesterday with this story that, Aubameyang was a disruptive influence in the dressing room and Vlahovic's agent used as the whole of January to get the Juventus move. So there's the next PR. And then it's like, now we're getting linked. Like today, we're being linked with Serge Gnabry. And I'm like, come on, just stop it. Just stop it, please. We ain't getting Serge Gnabry. He's not interested in playing Europa League. But it's like they try and dangle the carrot to their fans, like, come on, chase after this all summer. And it's listen, we're the best team in the country at PR. We're just not quite the best team on the pitch.
Well, it's an easy way to just deflect everything all the time. And so, listen, clubs will have. I don't even know what the role would be. You can't just call it PR, but head of PR or whatever, and they'll be very, very strategic on what is allowed out and the timing for human psychology. They have these people in these positions that work on human psychology, whether it's the color of the kit, the zigzags, whatever, which plays on people's minds. And the average fan is going to fall for that every single time. They're going to fall for that every single time. Now, like we say, we do a transfer video, and some people say, France, stop the transfer video because it's a load of nonsense. And like, well, you got to report it. You got to report it. But and I agree with you. So most of it is absolute waffle. But you got to report it. You got to provide that content, because in case something happens from it. But I think you don't fall for it because you've been inside. I think when you're on the outside, you fall for this absolute nonsense. Like, he was always going to get a new deal if he got anywhere near Europe. So the minute that we knew we was going to probably get Europa League delayed, that was it. That was done in principle. You know how it works. It takes months to work on these contracts. Months and months and months. That was done in principle. So, and El Neni was done in principle. El Neni, listen, I ain't got a problem with El Neni. I think he's a good geezer. You come on and you just keep it simple. You always need a few of them in your squad. So I ain't got a problem with him. And I don't know how much he's on, but he's professional. He keeps the ball moving, job done. He ain't going to play every week. He ain't going to go in the dressing room and start throwing boots around. He's quite happy to just get paid, plays football, go on. Fair enough. But then the PR with the stuff with Aubameyang, it's easy. It's end of season now. They've done okay. Let's throw everybody under the bus. But we won't mention it while the season's going in case it backfires. Now that's not backfired and he's done better than what everyone else thought he would have. Now we can start throwing people under the bus. We knew that Arteta and Aubameyang didn't get on because he doesn't like people like Aubameyang. And 100%. I would respect him more if he came out and was honest rather than trying to throw people under the bus and say the relationship broke down. That happens in football, rather than trying to throw someone under the bus. That's the only thing I don't like about Arteta. I actually think that attention to detail, because of the way he throws around his arms on the side of the pitch, it's the finer details that he's probably good at. And I also think that maybe one day he will go on to big things because of the way that he is and his connections. However, his arrogance and his man management skills are the one thing that probably going to hold him back unless he changes them. So I don't like.
Let me just read a few of these super chats. Yoki said maybe some of the 100K per week are earned through bonuses. Yeah, possibly. Probably not 100K basic.
Yeah.
Andrew said it's a failure. Remember, they don't want to replace Xhaka, so they bought Lokonga. Lokonga wasn't good at the 3-match losing streak. Arteta is a loser. That was crazy last season when they said they didn't want to upgrade on Xhaka. Cal said it is obvious that they are thinking they would have finished the job in the top 4 were it not for injuries. 1 or 2 signings and they are thinking job done. I mean, it's risky, innit? Because the other teams will improve. Snake Eye said this is why we can't make money when we sell these players, because no club would pick up these high wages. Big up Fran and Big C in the community. Great point as well. You try and sell these players. You look now how we're struggling to sell players because of the high wage. And then Babatunde said completely on point. With a great team and quality manager, even players will take a pay cut to be part of the team. That is an insult to we fans. And you said that, Fran, earlier, like Diaz would be saying, I'm so excited to be part of that Liverpool project. Apparently he was on like 45K at Porto. So they haven't even had to double his wages. They've just said 70k, it's a pay rise. You're coming to one of the best teams in Europe. And he's, get me out of here. I'll take it. We've given Eddie Nketiah more than double what he was earning on 5 Premier League goals. This guy wasn't in the team.
He couldn't even clean his boots, mate. He couldn't even clean. He's looking Christmas tips. That's Eddie's role with Diaz. Christmas tips for cleaning the boots at Christmas. I mean, and like you say, it's a difference because the talk is, listen, Diaz, you're going to come to this. You've seen the way we play. It's perfect for the way that you want to play. Okay.
Yeah.
We win this. You produce this. We double your wage. But at the first, initially, you got to come in. You got to see us playing for Liverpool, one of the greatest clubs ever, as a privilege, and you've got to prove to us that you're worth it. That's the difference. Yeah. We're just throwing candy and trying to bribe our kids all the time. You know how that works. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're trying to bribe with kids. And we all do that. Like, no, I'm done.
Your kids start shouting at you like, "Oh man, do you want an ice cream?" Yeah, all right, cool. Then stop crying.
Yeah. Telling you, mate, with 4 kids, mate, I've had to bribe bare kids.
Fran, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this. For anyone that doesn't know, obviously Fran was a football agent after playing, and he worked with Mason Holgate and players like that. How do you think Eddie's agent has managed to worm this type of deal? Has he probably said, okay, Palace are offering him 90k because he's a free, and how do you think they've shaped it to get that deal out of Arsenal? And do you think that 100k is his basic, or is that probably with bonuses tied in as well?
Listen, I imagine, because it's broad, as you know, it's broad. So it's probably bonuses, there's probably appearances in there. There's probably certain goal bonus, etc. It won't be a flat rate. And also sometimes maybe sponsors come in and add to that, depending on, I don't know what his boot sponsor is, but sometimes boot sponsors can come in and say, well, fair enough, if Arsenal are going to do this, the boot sponsor will do this if you get to so many appearances or whatever it may be. For him now, the agent would have just be saying that. He said, listen, we've got options. We're on a free. He's English. Yeah. We're on a free. He's come through Arsenal. He's had a good end to the season. We've got Palace. We've got Brighton. We're even speaking to Newcastle. We've got someone in the Bundesliga. If you really want him, you've got to show him. You've got to show him that you really, really want him. Yeah. And I bet they've said to him that he's going to be intention of starting every week, because I can't see why it would be so. Nice. Yes, we know he's probably going to sign for the money, but surely he wants to play. Surely he wants to play football. So I think that I would not be surprised if we don't sign 2 strikers. I wouldn't be surprised. And someone said to me earlier, but Fran, Jesus and Nketiah. I said, well, if we got Jesus and Nketiah, mate, you might as well forget it now. You might as well go on holiday for 6 months.
It's not enough, is it? Nowhere near.
It's not enough. It's not enough. It's just not enough. So if he is 3rd choice or 4th choice and you're paying him 100 grand a week, for me, it's just a bad business. It's bad business. But then on the flip side, people would say, like we said earlier, it's going to cost you double to get someone else in. But I truly, honestly believe that you can get someone in for 20 mil and offer him 75 grand a week. And it might not, it might still lose out, but who's better than Eddie and Nketiah? You could name 5-6 strikers who are better than Nketiah. It would never cost you 100 grand a week, but obviously the price tag. So listen, the agent's done absolute worldies, and the agent's probably got a lot of connect. It'd be interesting to see who his agent is, what company he's with. But yeah, they've just used the situation perfectly. But there'll be a lot of, it's not as straightforward as someone says he's going to get offered 100 grand a week. There's so many other things behind the scenes, but he could come out with 100 grand a week. That won't be just when we're going to his bank account every month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the thing what worries me about this deal, if we signed 2 strikers and kept Eddie, I would have never given him 100 grand, obviously. But if we signed 2 strikers, I could get my head around it, because I'd be like, you're just a young 3rd choice player. But the fact he's on 100k a week, I think Arsenal will only sign 1 striker. I think they will say to him, you've got Europa League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and you're the guy that's at least going to come on every Premier League game. And occasionally you're going to start, and, we'll rotate. We might play 2 of you. So for me, if he's on 100 grand a week, he's going to be 2nd choice. I don't think he'll be 3rd choice, because he's going to want to play.
Well, that's why I think they've gave him the money.
Yeah.
I can't see why he would give him else. But I find that absolutely unbelievable that we could think that we could get anywhere with Eddie as a number 2 striker. Eddie as a number 2 striker, let's be honest, probably wouldn't be number 2 in 85% of the Premier League teams.
Mm.
Would he be number 2?
Not in a lot of them. Not in a,
Wouldn't
especially
be.
the. No.
You know, he wouldn't be. I mean, Palace might be interested in, but who else is up top for Palace? You got AU, Mateta,
Edward.
Edward,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he's number 4 if he goes to Palace.
It says here, Fran, he's represented by Elite Project Group. They're the same agency that has Iwobi, Saka, Nelson, and Balogun. So it's all very much in-house, isn't it?
Yeah, probably London-based, isn't it?
And
London-based
obviously
company.
Bunch of all. He's probably saying, listen, if you give Eddie a bit extra, I might get Saka to take a bit less.
Yeah.
You know how it works,
Yeah.
Fran. You know.
You know?
You
And old Saka's that here golden boy getting mugged off.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you. If I'm Bukayo Saka, 2 years left on his deal, right?
He's asking 150s, 160s, bruv. At least.
Minimum. What? You just give Eddie 100 grand. I'm player of the season. I'm going to the World Cup. Eddie's talking about Eddie's apparently gonna go and play for Ghana. I want 200 grand a week if I'm Saka.
Yeah. And if you don't give it him, a City who will say, well, we'll give you 130, but you're playing for Man City. And if you're ambitious, what are you doing? You go to Man City. Or a Liverpool. Or a Madrid. Or whoever comes in for you. Like, you know, you got to weigh it up. So they've kind of killed themselves again because Saka and them not going to be knocking on the door, mate. It'd be interesting to see what Smith Rowe got as well. Because he'll be saying, right, I want a new deal straight away.
Yeah.
They'll be kicking off.
It's crazy, man. Ali with the super chat. Thank you, bro. Said, big up Fran and Curtis. Loving the stream, lads. Appreciate that. SG said, I had a nightmare last week. Spurs were in the Champions League final. Conte, they managed against Liverpool. Spurs were winning. Keita missed the pen. Hey, listen, don't worry about that. You woke up. It won't happen. Fitz, big up to you, bro. Said, on the anniversary of the greatest night in Arsenal's history, 89, it is sad what is going on at our once great club. The Kroenkes and Arteta are destroying the Arsenal utterly without ambition. I just want to ask you quickly before we move on. The owners, are they the biggest problem at this football club, Fran? Because, you know, he said when he bought the club, I didn't sign this club to win trophies. It ultimately is here to make money. And is Arteta just a byproduct of the Kroenkes and Edu and all? Is the bigger problem them at the top?
Yeah, of course. Of course, they're the head of the snake, aren't they? The Newcastle. Look at Newcastle. Newcastle had the same owner for, I don't know, probably over a decade, right? Didn't want to spend any money. Massive club with massive potential. Didn't want to spend any money. I think the record signing was something like championship fee or something crazy like that. Yeah. Someone comes in with money, said they want to compete with the best. Within 6 months, all of a sudden they've turned around, finished top half of the table. Everyone's talking about got Bruno Guimaraes. All these players might be signing for him. It's the owners. It's the owners. But because you can't do anything about the owners, you can't get rid of them. And forever, why they're making money, and this nonsense keeps making them money, you're never going to get nowhere near them. So that's why when you do protests and things like this, they quickly die down because people are very, very, they understand you've got no chance of removing these people. You know, someone said, right, free bill. They flat turned it down. They didn't even want to get around the table. So they're on a gold mine. They are on a gold mine with this football club. And of course, they're the biggest problem because they one, they don't understand the English philosophy. And two, they're not interested in being the best. They're interested in being rich. It's two different mindsets. And then once they get rich, it doesn't then need to continue because they don't want to be the best. When it comes to wanting to be the best, it doesn't matter how much money they make. They should just, Abramovich, to be honest. Abramovich came in and said he wants to be the best. He wants to compete with the best. What did he do? He had to, and the guys had to walk away with no money, or you know, by all reports. So yeah, of course it's the owners, mate. But the problem is you don't have nothing. You can't do anything about it. So then it has to. That's why Arteta gets a lot of stick because
do you believe that? Do you believe fans? Because a lot of people I've spoke to, they say the fans got Arsene Wenger the sack. leaving the stadium empty, protesting, merch dropped.
Yeah.
You know, sponsorship deals were falling. The money was being affected, so they moved. Do you think fans can't do anything to push an owner out, or
Nah, nothing.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think they can do. The only thing they could do are the things that fans are not going to do. So they're not going to stop buying the merch. They're not going to stop going to the Emirates for a day out and vlogging it. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop that because it's not, football's not seen now as it was 20 years ago. You know, you've probably watched 89. When you watched 89, that documentary, you got emotional. It was like, I don't know, it was a strange feeling. I don't know that's because we're older, but the only possible way is to do what you would have done back in the day. You know, burn the stadium down, do crazy stuff like that. And even that don't work. Fans are not going to do that because for every fan like you or me or people in the community or Turkish or whatever, and who want to boycott, there's 25 that will take your spot. It's 25. And they know that. They know that. They're okay, you don't want it. Fine, no problem. Come on then. Next. You don't want it. You don't want your season ticket. Next. No.
It's true. It's true.
You know, if the season tickets are 10 grand and people buy them for 10 grand, they're going to stay at 10 grand. You know, supply and demand. And that they know that. They're business people. Yeah. Supply and demand.
I suppose from a business point of view, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, it's perfect.
That's why they won't sell it.
Yeah. Let me just read these out. Raekwon said, Arsenal is about to become a selling club. Saka will be the first big sale if no Champions League. Can see that happening. Desmond said, I think Elneny is a decent player. Hear me out. I think people need to realise to get to a high level, you don't have to overcomplicate the game. Simple. Yeah, I agree. I just want to quickly go over then the Premier League. We'll come back to Arsenal towards the end. We'll round up at the hour. Start of the season, we did a prediction show. And so I'll start with yours. Your top four, you said City initially, but this was just before the end of the transfer window. You said if Lukaku went to Chelsea, you'd go for Chelsea. Yeah. So Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United was your top four. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You said City first, so we'll let you have it. You know what I mean? Lukaku, he basically didn't sign for Chelsea anyway. If you look at the way he's
guy turned up and then wanted to leave. Man.
Yeah, I think he sent Mark Henry from WWF, man. And I went Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United. So I just missed out. But yeah, City obviously deserved it. Me and you have spoken before. I know we're both massive fans of Pep. I mean, he gets criticised, and I understand for not winning that Champions League after the money spent. But I think to win the Premier League with no recognised striker, and he's now won 4 Premier Leagues out of 5, which is the kind of thing that you see in like the French League or sometimes the Scottish League. This guy is absolutely dominating and changing English football, isn't he, Pep Guardiola?
100%. 100%. They're dominating English football. They've won more trophies than what they've done anyone else in the last 5-6 seasons, whatever it may be. Liverpool are doing wonders to even be pushing them. But like Pep says, if it wasn't for Liverpool, Man City wouldn't be as good as they are. Yeah. Because they take their foot off the gas. And people will always go to the Champions League. The Champions League, it needs Messi, it needs Messi. A lot of the time, it's the luck of the draw. Your route towards the final can be, look at England's World Cup route and Euro route, probably the best route you're ever going to see. And things go against you. No one can deny the fact that they literally should have breezed past Real Madrid and still managed to get knocked out. Like things like that, which is player individuals or whatever it may be. And for me, it depends how you are as a person. I like Man City. But I like Man City because of Pep. I liked Pep as a player. I liked when he was at Barcelona, etc. And I like the style of play. But it's only a matter of time. And if they never win it, it's just down to the fact that it's just not meant to be. Does not make him, not for me. For me, he's the greatest manager we've seen in the Premier League because of the style. Now, some people would say Alex Ferguson. I get that. What he did was extraordinary with the Man United team. But the way Pep is and the style that he plays, that's my preferred. Now, some people obviously would say Klopp because Klopp has that different, he's more emotional, it's fast pace. So I think, like I say, there's an argument for both sides. I think it just depends on how you are as a football fan. But I mean, Man City and Pep, I think The one thing about Man City, what I like is come away from the fact of how they play and concentrate on how they work.
Yeah.
How they work. These are world-class superstars, and their work rate is relentless. Relentless. And that's what I like about them.
I mean, the crazy thing is, if you're Klopp, you're probably sitting there thinking you would absolutely be dominating football if it wasn't for this Pep getting in your way.
This
You know
guy.
what I mean, they've just got 92 points, Liverpool, and not won the title. Like, that's just crazy, isn't it? Like, I think Klopp's style is a bit more ferocious, isn't it? I feel like Liverpool go for your neck straight away.
Yeah, they're ruthless.
They're ruthless.
Straight ruthless.
Where City are just throwing the jab. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather.
They're wine and dine you, mate. City will wine and dine you, and then bam.
City make you think you're going to win the game as well. You know, Arsenal, we thought we were beating City, and they just pull it away from you at the last minute.
Villa at the weekend, okay. Yeah,
it's crazy. For me, the only thing I would say in terms of what you said, Pep's my favorite. He is my favorite. Yeah. But I do believe for him to be considered the greatest, I think he does have to win that Champions League with
I think
City.
That's always going to be the argument. It's like
I think he has to.
It's like that Messi thing where he has to win you know what? One of those people always add certain trophies in that, but I think he has to win it away from Barca because that Barcelona team. I mean, I've never seen a team like it. Never.
yeah, it's true. Snake Eye said Pep single-handedly changed the game. I mean, you know as well. You've been in, and even my boy now is in academy, and all of a sudden everyone plays out from the back. And I feel like Pep started that in England. You know, it was, when we was younger, put your fastest player up front, go back to front as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, goalkeepers involved in the keep ball session and centre backs are turning out and playing. Like, the whole game in this country has changed, hasn't it?
Well, it's always 10, 15, probably 20 years behind Spain.
Yeah.
You know, Spain were doing that. I remember we went on a tournament for my team. We were 14 and we went into a tournament in Holland. We played Juventus. We played Ajax. They were doing it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... I don't even want to give my age away, but it's over 25 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's a long time ago.
When you had the Jericho, you know?
I had hair then. I had hair, you get me? So they were playing out from the back then. Goalkeeper was getting it and taking it with his feet. So we're just behind. We're behind because the English game's philosophy is very different. Yeah. It's very, very different. You've seen it now. Sometimes a kid will get it and they'll say, "What are you doing? Why are you getting the ball there?" Pep has allowed people to understand that football can work that way. You can play that way. And he's changed the game. Wenger did it when he came, kind of brought a new style to the Prem. A lot of people were like, wow, Arsenal's way of playing is different. And then that got everyone caught up with that. And then Pep obviously did what he did. And then teams will eventually catch up, but then they'll evolve and do whatever they need to do, mate. So, he's changed the game big time.
He's changed it. And Haaland, you know what I mean? That could get them over the line next year in the Champions League.
If that clicks, they'll win everything.
They could clean up next year.
Yeah.
Desmond said Pep's first season was not up to par. He realised physical backline was the key. Watch his backline from the first season to the second. Yeah, I think he had Clichy and players like that. Lay Down the Law said, with what City and Liverpool have had to give this year, I think some other team will win the league next year. Who would you pick outside of them two? I mean, for me personally, I can't see anybody finishing above Man City. If you had to pick one, who would you go for? Maybe
go for Chelsea because of the money.
Yeah, you'd have to go for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, I don't see anyone. Darren said, "Fram with the soul glow."
No, straight Afro settings, mate. And then I had the brain. I had what Curtis has got, mate, 25 years ago.
No, listen, you know Fran, I mean? I beg you, just come up with the pictures on stream one day. I can't imagine you with brain.
I don't even think I've got a picture. I had some extensions in once. I thought I was crisscrossing it.
Man had extensions in.
Man had extensions, 1995. Don't get it twisted. 95.
Times have changed, man. Nah, it's just straight big settings for you, isn't it?
It's just straight big, mate. Let's check it off.
Now, do you know what? Just to improve the mood, I just want to add this quickly. Loads of people have been putting this. Now, this ain't going to cheer no one's mood up, by the way. Arsenal fans, you might want to look away now.
Oh, what now?
I mean...
Oh, mate. This story won't go away, will it?
Listen, honestly, I'm not joking. I don't say these things lightly. If this is our signing next season, if this is our striker, you have to just delete the club. We have to do something else. Honestly, if Forest end up in the Prem, I'll be streaming Forest or PSG.
They could do as well. They're flying.
If you present me Morata and Nketiah as our front two next year, just end the stream, Dave. As I say, end it. Yeah, big up X with that. But nah, please, Fran,
he's not that bad, but he can't be number one.
Fran, I don't even think he can be. Oh, nah.
He's not prolific, is he? Like when he plays for Spain, he needs 3 or 4 chances. I wouldn't go, oh, he's terrible. But if he was my only signing with him and Nketiah, I'd be worried. You get where I'm coming from. But if you can get him will he be on a free, or you might have to pay him mad money? Or
a year left. Sure. I'd be devastated, mate. I'd be devastated. Last year he got 9. Year before he got 11.
Yeah, he's not prolific. He's just not a goal scorer, is he?
Year before
he
got
something
6.
else, but
Morata, fam, like, oh my, this. You know, I'm doing a transfer video later on, so look out for that, people. I'll be talking about it. You know, we started the morning being linked with Gnabry. Now they're telling me we're getting Morata. It's like
he's not that bad.
He's not that good either, though, Frank.
He's not that good either.
like he's not that good. Fran, I'm telling you, 5K run in the morning, man. We're making a comeback. Fran's going to grow the cane rows back. You know, we'll get you to Turkey, get the Rob Holding sorted out.
I know, Paul on stream, new signing, mate.
Fran's going to come back with dreadlocks, mate. I'll tell you. Desmond said he can't be worse than Lukaku. I mean, boy, it's crazy, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's just paper talk. All right, I just wanted to, because we've got about 15 minutes left. I know we've got to go. We're going to do a quick team of the season. I mean, I know this team will probably just be a hybrid Man City and Liverpool team, to be honest. I don't even know if we can squeeze. I don't think we can get one Arsenal player in here, if I'm being honest.
You can't, can you?
I don't think you can get one. Everyone watching, by the way, we've got nearly 2,000 in here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe. Go and follow Fran's channel. His channel is in the title description, so you haven't even got to leave the stream. Go and subscribe to him, and we'll be doing loads of content over the summer as well. I've wrote a few players down in each position, but if you want to add anyone to it, or anyone in the comments wants to add anyone, just throw it in the comments, and we'll kind of go along with that as well. With the keeper, I mean, they put Ederson in goal, most clean sheets. I believe Alisson's a better goalkeeper than Ederson, in my opinion. I think Ederson's the best with his feet. I personally would go for Alisson, but because Ederson kept the most clean sheets, I kind of get it if you go with that. Who would you go with in terms of the keeper?
Like you say, if you go with stats, then you go with that. But then again, he's playing in the best team who concede the least amount of goals, probably. So for me, I'm going for Alisson. The fact that he's so good on one-on-ones, he got Liverpool. He's so good. If you're one-on-one with him, what he does, he waits till you have that final touch, and then he's off his line, and you don't want that. So for me, yeah, I'll be going with him. Yeah,
I got Alisson. Some people said Mendy. I think Mendy faded a bit towards the end. Saw at Wolves had a very good season. And De Gea, you know, as much as Man United have stunk out the place this year, every time I watch them, he's making save after save, man. But I think Alisson's the best keeper in the league, personally. Let's go right back. I mean, for me, it's got to really be Trent. Most assists in Europe out of any defender. Like,
I don't think there's anyone near him. I got to be honest. I don't think there's anyone near him. And people say he can't defend. He's not amazing, but he's not a mug. Do you know what I mean? He's not an idiot. He won't be playing in Klopp's team if he wasn't, if he was a mug. Reece James is very, very good. But I think because Trent has that little bit of extra sauce, that's why I go for him, because he's my type of player. But I see why people like Reece James. And let's be honest, Kyle Walker. If there's one player you don't want to play one-on-one, it's Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
So for me, for the whole package, I'm going to go for Trent in modern day football.
Yeah.
But, 5 years ago, then Kyle Walker, probably for me, was one of the best right backs in the world. Never mind Premier League.
I
Frightening.
mean, Trent, just quickly, 22 years of age, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup at the age of 22. And this guy, Southgate hardly picks him. Sometimes he doesn't even make the squad.
Well, listen, if Southgate don't pick you, normally it means that you're one of the best. Because Foden is not consistent. He didn't hardly put Grealish in. He picks Ollie Watkins over other people. Don't play Trent. Let's be honest. So Southgate's assessment is, for me, I might wipe my backside with that newspaper.
Yeah. We don't worry about that. Let's go left back. I mean, again, I've only written down Robertson and Cancelo. If there's anyone else anyone thinks, but I can't see another left back that's really had the season as good as them.
See, it's always going to be hard because those have the best players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, listen, Cancelo for me. Cucurella. Someone's put Cucurella's had a very good season. And Man City apparently are interested in him. Don't know how true that is.
I like him.
Very good player.
I'd go Cancelo. I think
Cancelo is different league. He's different league. He can defend as well. So, I'll go for Cancelo, mate. We're probably going to have the same team, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar. I do like Robertson, but, Cancelo's been unreal.
Yeah.
With the centre-backs, this is a tricky one because a lot of Liverpool fans been saying Matip's had a better season than Van Dijk, but Van Dijk's played a lot more games than him, I think. So I almost think Van Dijk's that good that when he plays well, you don't give him no credit for it because you just expect it.
Yeah. Well, I think Van Dijk's going to be probably first on everyone's list. The guy plays football like he's not breaking sweat. He's absolutely unbelievable.
Is he one of the best centre-backs you've ever seen?
For me, yeah. Now, I do question, would he have been as good 10, 15 years ago? And you've got Drogba and you've got Shearer and you've got Robbie Fowler and Henry. They might have twisted him up a few times. But we can't judge him on that because we don't know. So we can only go on modern day football, but I never really see people beat him. If they do get beyond him, he just changes gear and catches up with you. And he's good. I love Ruben Diaz. Got to be honest. I think Ruben Diaz is solid. I hate to say it, but I like Rudiger. But I wouldn't have him. But he's a little bit of a head loss. So for me, I like Matip as well.
He's had a good season.
Yeah, but I've got to go with Diaz and Van Dijk for me.
Yeah. I think. Listen, I think Rudiger was having a very good season, but I think he tailed off towards the end. All the transfer talk, Chelsea were kind of wobbling. Diaz got stronger and kind of led them. Romero at Spurs, I think he's had a very good season.
Thiago Silva when he's played.
Thiago,
top players. You know what I mean? Top players.
Midfield three. I mean, I got a number of names down. I've written down De Bruyne, Declan Rice. I think Conor Gallagher. I'm trying here to see if we can squeeze someone.
Yeah, squeeze someone in
outside of City and Liverpool into the three. Fabinho, Rodri, and anyone else you can think. Bernardo Silva. Probably Rice.
Players,
Rice and Gallagher are the two outside of those two that I think could get close.
Yeah,
but
and I think it also depends on your style of play.
Yeah,
Rice ain't playing in a Man City team. I don't think. He may do, but I couldn't really see it.
No,
do you know what I mean? Ball retention and things like that. I mean, De Bruyne is first on your list.
Well, De Bruyne's player of the year, isn't he? So he has to be in the team.
Mate, he's outrageous. He's outrageous.
He has to be in the team.
I absolutely love Thiago. Always have.
So have I.
But has he played enough? Because I know for part of the season he wasn't playing a lot, was he?
Yeah.
Thiago is absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah,
I mean, the way he passes the ball, it's a joke. Some of the things that he sees,
whips around the corner.
Oh, mate, he's a hit. But he's sick. The fact that he had Iniesta and all them lot ahead of him probably killed him off because he's different league. He's different league.
He thought, I got to go Germany and get away from these, man. I need to build somewhere else.
You know what I mean?
Thiago, for me, is, I think, on the ball as good as anybody in the world. Like, in terms of, you can't get the ball off him.
He's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
With the ball, he's one of the best I've ever. Yes, and people say, but he gives the ball away. That's because he's taking risks. Yeah. He's always looking to break the lines. So it's tough.
A lot of people
because
I think Rodri and
Rodri's
Fabinho.
outstanding.
Rodri's had a great season. Fabinho's a
Rodri's
tank as well.
Fabinho. I'm trying to pick a team as well. So
Yeah.
Thiago probably wouldn't go in this. I'm trying to think Fabinho at the little bit just behind, or Rodri. I'd have Rodri behind, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva.
He's had a great year as well.
Whoa.
I think for me personally, I love Fabinho, but I think Rodri's got to go in there because they've won the Prem. He's bossed it all season for them.
I'm gonna go Rodri and Thiago. That's for me. Just because I like him.
Thiago, I don't know if Thiago's done enough. I think Fabinho's been better than Thiago.
No, but I wouldn't play Fabinho in that position. That's the thing. Do you know? Would you play Fabinho in that position?
I wouldn't play him there. I wouldn't play him there. But I'm just thinking if we're just going off who's been better, I think Fabinho's been better than Thiago.
Yeah, if we're not going off of that, like you say,
we're not going off that.
Yeah, so right, okay. So I'd go Fabinho then.
We'll go Fabinho. Yeah. I mean, listen, I was someone there saying Declan. I don't know if I'm just biased, Fran. Like them players don't excite me, and I can't help it. I appreciate what he does, Declan Rice, but I just don't see the hype.
Yeah, I think you are a certain way of how you look at football. Some people love that. He's a typical English centre half with a little bit more. That a midfielder with a little bit more. That's what he is. Like for me, he doesn't even come into my brain when I talk about midfielders. Declan Rice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just because I don't look for play. I see what he does as so many other players can do it. That's what I see. So many players like him. So many players who can run around and you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why.
El Nenny's in the chat. He said, "I'm robbed."
Big shout, El Nenny, that new deal, mate. He's only got 75k, and Eddie's getting 100k.
He's fuming. Now, listen, I got to be honest. Gallagher, I think has had a very good season. I've done him a bit dirty here, but the front three, I mean, I think two of them are probably without question. I mean, left mid, you got to go really for Son, aren't you? Top goal scorer, no penalties.
100%. No penalties.
I mean, I got to give a shout out to people like Mane and Diaz and that, but
Son,
really, and
Son all day.
Son on the left, and the right side really's got to be Mo Salah, hasn't it?
It's funny about Salah because when you watch him, he's one of those players. He don't do nothing, does he?
No.
And then bang, at the blue, he just wins the game. And again, you've got to pick him in because the goal return is absolutely frightening again. So they have to both go in there.
Do you think that's funny, just briefly with Salah? I have this debate with Liverpool fans all the time. I think Salah's one of these players that you only love him if you support Liverpool. Like, I don't watch Liverpool and get that excited when I watch Salah. He's just a clutch player that pops up and bags and probably wins you the game. I think I get more excited by Diaz and Mane than I do by Salah.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I think that's why people don't talk about him as like in Ballon d'Or and things like that, because what he's done is ridiculous. Let's be honest. The figures, what he's been putting up for the last few seasons is ridiculous. But football's all about the eye test, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he swagged enough? Is he suave enough? Does he do enough?
Yeah.
Look at when Diaz gets the ball, you get excited.
Yeah.
You know, but when Salah gets the ball, you think he might do something. He might do something, but chances are he's probably not until 89th minute, and then he pulls something out of the bag. So, yeah, I think that's why. But Salah, you can't argue with him because the numbers tell you. The numbers tell you. It's ridiculous.
So the debate I've got here on this, I'm saying either really you've got to go Ronaldo or Mane's played up front a lot, but probably not all season. So I'm just saying, for me, I'm probably leaning towards Ronaldo. 26 goals in all competition for a 37-year-old in a bad team. You know what I mean?
Who's lost about 2-3 yards of pace as well, by the way. He's lost that pace, boy.
You know what I mean? I think you've got to squeeze him in there, personally.
Yeah. I again, on numbers, I mean, as an all-round centre forward, there ain't better than Kane. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Although saying that, do you know what? I'm going to take that. Yo, Kane scored 17 league goals and got nine assists. No, 18 league goals, 9 assists.
There's not many better than Kane, not in world football. And that hurts me. It pains me to say that, but
I think overall, he didn't really turn up until Conte showed up, did he, in December?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tough. It's tough because I think, again, all round and what they've done.
Me personally, I'll go CR7.
You go CR. I think I'd go Kane
because of the circumstances.
I think I'd go Kane.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave it to the chat to decide this one.
But they're not going to say Kane.
Quickly throw. No, but there's a lot of people there saying, "Look, Kane for sure. Go with Kane." You decide it, people. Honorable mention for Jota as well. Yeah, he's bagged a lot of goals.
Yeah, Jota's good.
Let's see. I'm being a little bit biased. I'm hoping they put CR. There's a lot. No, I'm not going to lie. There's probably more putting Kane. All right,
Kane's different league. As much as we don't like the club and that, as a player, he's different gravy, mate.
Oh, Harold squeezing in there.
Man said Harold.
You man are all going for Kane, fam. I thought the Arsenal community would go against him, but
hey, they're honest. I love it. They're honest.
No, I love the honesty, man. There is a few CR7s, but
you know what? For me, though, because of what happened in the summer, adds so much to the character of him. There ain't many players be able to respond the way that
do you know what? And do you know what? Yeah, it's Ronaldo. A lot of the time this season has not played well and scored, where I think Kane performs at a higher level. Do you know what I mean? Like he has a lot of good games. A lot of times I watch Man U, Ronaldo's done nothing and bagged.
Yeah. You know, Spurs will win 4-5. Kane won't score, but he'll have 5 assists. Do you know what I mean? Something crazy like that. So it looks like the chat. Oh, there's a few CR7s popping in on the late vibe.
All right. We're getting one more thing here, right? He played 8 games less than Harold in the Prem.
Ronaldo.
He played 30. Kane played 38. And he's got the same league goals, but 5 less assists.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't give it Ronaldo over Kane. I'd be... I can't do it, mate. I'm trying to
play you here, bro.
Can't do it, mate. Nah. Kane's all coming deep and doing Wayne Rooney Diags left, right, and centre, mate. I can't. Nah.
Harold's nicked it. I got to lie. The comments. I've seen more Kane votes. It's painful.
We'll bullied you, mate. Community's bullied you off.
Harold Kane. Listen, let's be honest. The only reason that Spurs are in the top 4 is because of them two. So,
100%.
They probably deserve to be in it. At the end of the day, Kane's turned up when Spurs needed him. Ronaldo, you know, I don't know. He scored goals, but it took him.
There's a lot of questions behind the scenes.
There's a lot of questions. So, and yeah, listen, a few people saying I should have mentioned Jared Bowen, who's had a very good season.
Yeah. In the England squad
very
as well.
Good
so,
season.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Lawrence with the super chat said, Kurt, I missed a few minutes. Did we talk about Bowen? That you've just heard it. That's probably all he got. we were aiming higher up. We didn't really talk about Jared Bowen, to be honest. So I know you've got to go shortly. So I'm gonna round up. Make sure. You got any content coming out? I know you did a short video.
Just a short video. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see. If news is good, we'll see, and then we'll see what streams or some. A lot of the time, I may just throw some edited videos out there as well while it's quiet. I always say this time now, first couple of weeks of season, take your time out. Do you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot to talk about. Take the time out, get outside, and then we crack on again. So yeah.
All right. So I'll finish off with this. So a few people are asking, who would you have voted manager of the season? Because Klopp won manager of the season, but didn't win the Prem, and people were saying it should have been Pep. Who would you have given it
to? Eddie Howe.
Well, you wanted him at Arsenal, didn't you? That time?
Eddie Howe, mate.
He has done a good job, though.
He's done a magnificent job. I will probably say Klopp, because it's very hard to try and chase Man City. But then I understand people's argument that Pep should have won it because they won the league. So there's an argument for both, but I get the argument for Pep. If I'm going to go for one, then I'm going to go for Pep. But that's just pure probably bias, you know what I mean? But I get the argument with Klopp, yeah. Eddie Howe's third, though. Eddie Howe's third.
Eddie Howe definitely third. Yeah, he saved them, hasn't he? So, but listen, big up for coming on, Fran. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed the show. Looking forward to you coming on. Talk is cheap as well.
Yeah.
And there's 2,000
Still training
people
as well, mate.
Hey, don't worry, mate.
I hope
hey,
you're ready. I hope you're ready, son.
Let the ball do the work, mate. Let the ball do the work. Listen, there's 2,000 of you in the chat now and about 60 on Twitch. So make sure you go and subscribe to Fran. His link's in the title. Get his numbers up. He's got great content on there. He's got a crypto channel as well. Go and follow him on that if you want a bit of advice on that. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. I'll have a pre-recorded video out about 7 o'clock tonight. We'll talk about Morata and Gnabry and all of that nonsense that's in the press, and we'll break it down as well. But big up to you for coming on, Fran. Appreciate it, bro.
Big respect. Thanks for having me on, man. Big shout out to the community as well.
Yeah, no problem. Big up to everyone for coming on. Look out for the video that will be out later, and we'll be back tomorrow, people.